Welcome to Mystic Musings with Toby Hewitt. I'm Toby Hewitt, and I'm your guide through time and space and all points in between. Mystic Musings will give you insight into who you are, why you are here, how to live an authentic life, and where you fit into the universe around you. Join me on this path of mystical exploration. Welcome to episode 26 of Mystic Musings with Toby Hewitt. This week, we will look at the coexistence of multiple dimensions as we continue our mystic journey. Have you ever been sitting somewhere, say a coffee shop having an afternoon latte, when the peace of the familiar surroundings fades slightly, and you for a moment felt that you were in a different place, say a bistro in Paris? You could see that the tables are arranged in a slightly different configuration, and the sound you are hearing is French, not English. Or have you been walking down a street in your hometown and felt the strange sensation of taking these same steps 100 years earlier? Or have you been sitting at your computer and suddenly you can detect the pleasant and comforting scent of your father's favorite cologne? These are but some of the instances of what I call bleed-through. Moments when you become aware of a different environment or time, or a change in the environment in which you are sitting. These are evidence of multiple realities or dimensions, all coexisting in the same here and now on a spiral within the interdependent web. These are indications of simultaneous incarnations of portions of your soul group, or even your own spirit, or the awareness of time through equal lenses of perception, i.e., now and the illusion of an earlier or even future then, or the fact that both sides of the veil exist in the here. Multiple planes of existence occur in the same time and space, but our limited five senses can normally only perceive one at a time, and it is only rarely, unless one is practiced in the art of awareness of these dimensions, that we can experience the others. There are various scientific theories of multiple universes and simultaneous dimensions, and there is growing evidence that these theories are correct. Parallel universes would explain the sensation of being in two places at the same time, or in two times in the same place, or of the presence of spirits from what we call the other side, but which is actually a plane existing concurrently where and when we are, but at a faster vibrational rate, the perception of which is limited because of our five physical senses are not the ones that perceive it, but rather the senses of our etheric body, which are available to our physical consciousness when our spirits are incarnate. And now that I think of it, it's possible that déjà vu, the sensation of having experienced something before, is another one of these experiences that we have that proves that there are multiple time, spaces, etc., although they all exist, of course, here. So what do these occurrences of shifts in awareness mean to us? Foundationally, it means that we are limited in experiencing these other dimensions on a constant basis because such awareness would impede our growth on this plane in this illusion of time and space. A vacation to Hawaii is a pleasant escape from our daily lives, but if we do not return to the existence we chose in this incarnation, we might lose some of the important lessons we are here to learn. Of course, awareness of these other dimensions may be part of your plan from before you were born, and in that instance, you not only can enjoy this knowledge, but can share it with others, which is what I am doing now. When I give a reading to a person wishing to contact someone who has passed beyond the veil, which is an accepted way of referring to the spirit plane, I am simply shifting, it's a way of describing the separation between the physical plane and the spirit plane. I am simply shifting my perception slightly from my physical senses to the etheric senses in order to communicate with those on the slightly faster vibrational plane. These spirits are aware of our plane, though to them we are existing at a slower pace, a slower rate. which makes communication between these two planes challenging at times, especially for someone who has just passed on. Of course, we can look at a newborn on this side and acknowledge that they are not just adjusting to their own physicality, their new physicality, but also to the difficulty in communicating with those who, until their incarnation into the slower vibrational realm, were easily accessible. I believe that some of what we perceive as a newborn's distress is their realization that they have once again entered the physical world and that for the time being are separated from many friends and family on the other plane. I believe that the most important aspect of what I do as a medium is not simply to bring two or more people on multiple planes together for discussion, but by being presented with verifiable information from those on the other plane, prove that what we call death is just a transition between the planes, and just as it is with energy, spirit can neither be created nor destroyed, as it has existed since the creation of the all. Sometimes I'm aware that there are moments when I feel as though I am like Alice in Wonderland, experiencing a very different reality than the one I am physically inhabiting. It is an interesting experience to not only be aware of spirit on other planes and teachers and masters who exist on a higher vibrational plane than our loved ones on the other side, but to be cognizant of the different dimensions of time and space that are coexisting around us. I live in an apartment building that was built as a hotel in 1921. I often get glimpses of that earlier time as I walk through the halls. I keep mentioning the illusion of time and space, but while the measure of these constructs is necessary to our daily living on this plane, in the wider and multiple universes, there is a more pliable manifestation of what these ideas mean, which becomes more evident the faster our vibrational existence. What does all this mean? It means that we perceive as reality is limited by our physical senses and awareness, and that by expanding our awareness by exercising our etheric senses, otherwise known as the clairs, that's CLAIRS, as in clairvoyance, claircognizance, etc., we can ascertain aspects of the multiple dimensions that are actually existing around us. This awareness can put a different spin on the daily challenges we are experiencing. There is so much more than what we believe there is. A wider perception can provide both information but also comfort that can help guide our days. For this week's exercise, please select a space in which you can unobtrusively test your awareness of another simultaneous dimension. Sit in an older building or simply walk down a street with which you are normally familiar. Try envisioning a different time. Try to be aware of other people dressed in the clothing of an earlier moment in history. Let your imagination really explore this experience and return to your notebook and write down what you perceived. This exercise allows you to use your imagination as the vehicle by which you can become aware of the different planes around you. The imagination is but one connection between the physical and ethereal senses, and thus exercising it helps to develop psychic awareness. Next week, please join me for episode 27, when we will look at extrasensory perception as we continue our mystic journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystic Musings. Please join me every week to continue our exploration of all things mystical that can help you have a more practical and magical life. Please visit my website, TobieHewitt.com, for more information and to read my blog postings. And join me also at pathwaystomindfulness.org to learn how you can schedule a presentation. I'm available for mindfulness training, demonstrations of psychic abilities, and individual readings. I also have a number of books on mystical topics on Amazon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and answering your questions. Please contact me through TobieHewitt.com.